Forward! Forward! Forward!
Fall in.
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good with y'all? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Trey, and y'all know what it is. Hope your weekend was gracious. Welcome to E2G Sports Network presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk. So come on and fall in with your favorite vets on the net as we get to talking about what's happened in sports over the course of the last couple of days. In this case, we left you last from the weekend, before the weekend. Yeah, here we are, getting ready to get started back. Of course, a lot of it went down. NBA action, NBA action. When you look at some of the teams that participated in their games over the course of the weekend, no tournaments, but just a lot of league play. NCAA men and women, as a couple of teams punched their ticket to the big dance that's coming up. NFL on center stage, of course, with the combine, UFC action. Us, we got a lot of conversation to do. So, of course, getting right into it. Getting right to it. Where should we start? You know what? Let's pull it off here. Of course, if you were or if you are into those the pugilistic conversation over the course of the weekend, there was the UFC 285 that was going on, in which the top two matches pitted uh, John Bones Jones versus Cyril Gane in the heavyweight match, in which it was vacated, but Ngannou, after he left the UFC, in the heavyweight competition. And of course, for the women's flyweight championship, Valentina Shevchenko, reigning champion, currently, who had at least 7 title defenses, took on underdog Alexa Grasso, basically a Mexican-born champion at this point, as Grasso was able to take care of business as she won in the fourth round at the 4 minute 34-second mark, submitting Valentina with a rear naked choke. And that's all she wrote. Of course, Grasso now the champion, 16-3 in her trek in the UFC, and the women's flyweight took care of that. Like you said, that business 20 against 23, and now for Valentina Shevchenko, which was actually a pretty good fight. If you watched it, pay attention, watched it. She was showing that grit and grime, in which I think comes with a lot of Hispanic or Latin boxers or MMA competitors. That what has become the moniker of that. I guess you could say Latin, whether it's Mexican, Brazilian, or any other countries in which who are dominant in the MMA realm. She continued on, forced and pushed and pride, forced it, really tested them that grit and the grind of the champion, in which it ended up being working in her favor in state, I guess, when you can basically look at it. So, of course, shout out, great, congratulations to Alexa Grasso. Of course, she's going to take her time before getting back in it. Of course, like any other champion would, as Shevchenko basically said that she would like a rematch. If the UFC could make it happen, but to put it on, because she understands what has to happen as a champion. So does she, or should she get the first crack at the belt that she just lost? If it wasn't in a contract, I'm very sure Dana White, as a savvy businessman, didn't put that in perspective. Unless comes to find out that that's the better ticket when it comes down to it. As we know, that's going to be the first for Leon Johnson, Al Jones, as he took care of business and took the belt from Umar Kuzman. Uh, in which that's who his first title defense is against the man he took the belt from. Same from Texera. He took the belt from Israel Asande, and his first matchup for him in title defense is the rematch versus the man who he just took the belt from. So, for me personally, I don't know. Uh, at least I think just because, I mean, yes, if I beat you, as if you're a reigning champion, what's good morning, Kanief? What's going on, sis? How you doing there? Hope your money is great. Glad to have information with us this morning. Marvelous indeed. But like I was about to say, if I'm a champion, if you're the challenger, I mean, if you're a champion and I knock you off, right? If you're the champion and I get the chance to knock you off, my first mindset, if I beat you, is not to face you again right off the bat. Not going to happen, Captain. Or I'm going to fight tooth and nail for that not to happen. Not based on anything except for you were the champion. You shouldn't get first crack at the belt. Make your way back up. If whatever federation or whoever authorities deem that you are the number one contender after our first after my first defense or whatever case may, then so be it. We can rock with it. But if you're not, then I'm not trying to go through with it. I'm like, nah, fam, you gotta wait your turn. I have to make my way up the ranks to face you. So what makes you the number one person after the fact? What's good, Rodney? What's going on, brother? I know this is your wheelhouse. So I asked you, Rodney, what is your take on that? Or anyone out there that's listening, that's tapped in right now, that's information. What is your take on having to, especially in those sports like that of boxing, MMA, or anything which is a competitor sport, one competitor, you're your only team. What do you think? Why? What is the significance? Like, what's your take on it? Okay, Roddy, I think you agree with me. You got to wait. I had to walk up. I had to walk up the ranks to get to you. You got to walk up the ranks to get to me now. If they say, hey, you're the top competitor after I did a title defense or two, so be it. And we know that takes a while. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have people don't fight for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 6 months at minimum. Only fight maybe once or 3 times a year. So be it. But if they determine that after a couple of fights in which you've had, or which I guess I've had as well, that they determine you're the top competitor, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it on. But not right off the bat. You can't be my first defense after I just took it from you. What say it I did just happen to win. Or I just caught, you know what I'm saying, like I said, that's been my term for this year so far, lightning in the bottle. I don't want to face you again right off the bat. Especially if we just went at it, it was grueling. Let's give someone else a chance. Let's see if it spells well. Even I'm going to get somebody, or they going to get me. And then after that, if they get me, then so be it. You can be their first competitor, because I'm not looking to get a chance at that belt right off the bat. So I can't. That's why I just don't give it. Of course, like Rodney saying, it's a whole business, and really the ranks don't count. Honestly, it's like what makes sense does it make for me for you to be the number 7 rank? That means it's even in the setup of the scheme of things, even one, you're set up to where there's a 1 through 7, and I'm sitting at the top as the champion, or I'm the number 1 rank as the champion. So there's anywhere from 5 to 6 people between you as the number 6 rank. Why am I facing you at that point? Make it make sense to me. What's the significance of the rankings? Depending on ranks and the competitions is it's just okay. I got you. It's the caliber of the competition. Do you know? I completely understand and feel you, Rodney. But it's a business in state, and what popular is going to be is going to be that. Hence, like we said, with the Sunday and as well as Usman, They both just lost the belt, and both of them have an opportunity over the next two UFC events. If y'all don't pay attention, UFCs are rocking out every single month. So already he has an opportunity for Usman to possibly get his belt back after he just lost it. Same thing for Sunday, where he comes later on down in the year, but all within the next 3 or 4 months, we will be seeing those title defenses taking place against the people who just had the title snatched from them. But like my man Rod was saying, it's a business. And okay, I can get you saying it's all set up for what the fans want. That's not a bad business model, I guess, when you have the ability to do that. So it's but Grace, of course, we haven't even topped or tapped in to what was the top fight on the night. John Bones Jones taking care of Cyril Gane as they faced off for what was the heavyweight title, vacant heavyweight title in the UFC. Of course, what we know it. Of course, what we know. Jones coming back in. What's sad, Rodney? What part is sad? I just want to make sure before I go for it. See, it might be some content driven stuff of what you talking about. What's sad? The business model, or is it sad that John Jones, Bone Jones, is back on top? I'm just wondering, so we can make sure. That's why I don't pay for pay-per-view. That fight was so quick. So we're gonna touch on that. I won't touch on that in a second, Anthony. Keep that plug, keep that Pinterest up. We're gonna definitely touch on that for the most part because this is so many things, in my opinion, to wrap here at this certain point, right? So, of course, like I said, John Bones Jones faces off against Cyril Gane, in which Cyril wasn't adequate enough. Lose yet again as he was guillotine choked with 2 minutes and 4 seconds in the first quarter of this fight, led up to this fight, of course. As we know, Jones he's considered the GOAT. He totes it, he wears it well in the UFC. He goes, as if you see when he's like, one more thing before I leave, bad. Basically shouting it out, let it know. That's me. I'm that dude. So I know I've seen a couple of posts and stuff over the course of the weekend. A lot of persons, of course, you are on Wayne Walcott, Coach Wayne, from Charleston SCMB. In his conversation, he could not wrap his head or fathom how is it that a fighter of Gane's stature allowed for Jones to submit him or even put him in a position to where he was up against the fence and he was able to get him and put him in that guillotine choke. He couldn't wrap his. People were trying to explain to him. He couldn't fathom it. It was no way for him. He's just think that shouldn't have happened. As he said, looks like it was scripted. UFC knows John Jones bringing in money. But I mean, you can say that about a lot of people, though. Anthony, Bones Jones brings in money. Conor McGregor at some point where he's gonna finally get an opportunity to get back in after he's bulked up and most likely is moving up in his weight class. Asande, Usman, like all these people, even Nate Diaz for whatever reason continues to bring in money in the UFC. People want to see these people. In which I don't think it was scripted. I just think in the case of, like I said, like Coach Walcott was doing, he was like, bruh, I don't get it. He's like, you can't tell me how it is. He was up against the fence. I went back and looked at the tape a little. Even though he did make it up against the fence after Jones got him in the takedown, it seems like Jones did, of course. Jones is a wrestler in college. He's a wrestler. That's his thing. So not too many are going to be able to grapple with him for the most part. And he knows that. So he'll stand up and do work on his feet, footwork and throwing hands. But at some point, he's going to take you to where in the deep waters where he can swim. He swims like a shark. And that's in the grappling game. So in the case of, with all that being said, in the case of Coach Wayne, he was like, how did this happen? How did Gane allow him to push on him? As we seen superior technique as after Jones got Gane to the ground, He basically utilized a lot of keeping his hip center and back to try to get leverage as he was trying. Of course, Gon probably was maybe a little bit stronger than him, but he was trying to use that to basically pull his arms and get his arms and take him off, get him off his base. At some point, when Gon was able to turn him over and try to utilize the fence or the gate to get as leverage to get him up, Jones kept pressure on his neck, and then of course at some point put him in the guillotine, and that was all she wrote for it. So in this case, knowing the situation, because Jones has an extensive rap sheet, I guess you could say, when it comes down into the MMA portion of in reference, he doesn't a bunch of suspensions for different things, uh, vacates and all that type of stuff. For Jones, would you say he has showed that true grit of a champion? And of course, he is deserving. I mean, he won, so he's deserving of it. But to be back and to come back and say, "I'm good," John Jones is just good. Look how he out wrestled Cormier. He beat him up twice. Uh, and that's what it says. Hence, they say why he's the GOAT. Um, now, uh, Miocic is possibly looking for an opportunity to regain his belt, regain the belt again. If Gon said, I mean, if Miocic said, Jones said he wants that fight, so he's not running from anyone. So it comes down. I know earlier Roddy was saying it comes to who's the most. I mean, I'll bet he did say the popular fight, and Jones right now is a popular man. He's that man. So there's no one that's probably going to he's not going to run for no one for the most part. So hopefully we get to see that. You also got to Avasa, possibly may make a or maybe come back. Like the ring is getting it looks like there's starting to be a reemergence for peak player. I mean, the heavyweight division, for the most part. So of course we're here for it as fans and all that type of stuff. We just want to make sure it stays fair. We don't want to see the same people over and over and over and over again, for the sake of competition. I look at it as I want to see a fight, whether it's a someone getting smacked up by a champion or a contender. For the most part, I want to see a fight. That's what we pay for the pay-per-view for. So, like I said, shout out to both them champions as we continue to look forward to the next UFC or boxing champions coming down. I seen yesterday, Vasily Lomachenko said, "Let's do it." Him and Haney going to go at it. You got Haney. Soon we got Tank coming up against Garcia. It's finna be litty when it comes to those pugilists, whether it's boxing or MMA, all in succession, for the most part. Okay, so if you've been around, of course, y'all know what it is. We in March. Y'all know the term March Madness is upon us. Men's, women's, college basketball, amateurs at the highest point, and it's about to start going down. Of course, as we get into the championship weeks, in this case, with the championship weeks going on, we're looking at a large, currently 10 teams over the course of the weekend for the women. Let's start off with let's start with the ladies first. Ohio Valley Conference clinched by the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, with a 54-46 win over Little Rock, led by Malaya Owens' 14 points, 7 average a game. With this win, this makes the 11th time in the history of the institution in which they have gone to the dance, last making their appearance in the year 2000. In the SoCon, Chattanooga Mocs punched their ticket to the dance with a 20-12 record, winning 63-53 over Wofford, led by Yaz Dean's 16 points a game. What's good? What's going on with you, brother?
What's good? What's good? WGO, what's going on? WGO.
How
y'all living on this Monday?
Oh, it's great. It's a great day. It's a beautiful morning. Atlantic 10. The St. Louis Billikens represent 17-17. Not what you look for in a champion, but they took care of business in an OT win versus University of Massachusetts. That's UMass for y'all that don't know. 91 to
University
85.
who?
UMass, Massachusetts.
Got him tongue
Massachusetts.
tied over there. I hear you. Massachusetts.
Yes,
Yeah.
I gotta say it right because I did say Massachusetts like there's no T in there whatsoever. But you know, so we just gonna add in. That's funny because I was checking out a little sidebar. I was looking at I looked at 2 comedy specials over the course of the weekend. One of them and they're kind of like the same in a sense because of course you have the Chris Rock special.
Chris Rock, right?
Chris Rock.
Was it good?
Chris Rock. It was good. I'll give it to him, but he said some things. His last 7 minutes, he went in.
Okay.
And then I looked at. I think it was the older one. Was the Marlon Wayans special, and with Marlon Wayans was funny too. But he talked about how people said the same Pacific. They say specific time zone, specific. Yeah. So that's when I instantly when I sit up and said that. Yeah, so instantly when I said Matt knowing in my I know what I see in my head for the word Massachusetts, but again,
right,
it just rolls off your tongue as Matt.
Right.
But of course,
so it looked like you talked about the UFC fight.
Oh yeah. I just I just been talking about. Did you watch it?
Yeah,
were you not entertained?
I was very entertained. Now, luckily, the prelims was good because the main fight lasted all of what I think a minute, 2 minutes,
2 minutes, the most. 3 minutes. We can give him 3 minutes, but that was less than that.
Yeah, it was. Bro. But the prelims. I mean, first there was a I don't know if you call it a record, but first Mexican woman to win the UFC belt. Yep, to win the UFC fight, and she wasn't predicted to win. Like the odds were against her. Yeah, the odds were against her, and she came out on top with flying colors. She did her thing, man. You got to give it to. Today just wanted to show love and say good morning. What up, Key? What's good? Yeah, it was a great match. Great matches, should I say? Great matches.
All throughout. Actually, throughout all
the whole thing.
15 rounds for the most part. When you see,
all of them was good. Yeah. All of them. I watched, and I think I started watching because initially I forgot.
You was watching the combine.
Right, but initially, I didn't get. So it's crazy you say that. I didn't watch the combine though.
Oh,
I
what?
didn't get.
And
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Right, I'm gonna tell you why because it's crazy, right? That the way they got it set up, it's almost like you got to pay to watch for everything. And I didn't have. I don't have that in my package. So I wasn't able. But we will. I know we're gonna go over there. John Bones Jones. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. But I will say we're gonna talk about an individual. And there's an individual that showed out. But for those that may have missed it, man, like I said, UFC 285, and there's a bunch of UFCs coming up. Like for the next, I think for the next 3 weeks,
3 or 4,
next 3 weeks.
I was just saying that like it's gonna be crazy.
But for those that didn't see Grasso, get the win. She basically choked her out, man. She choked her out
rear naked choke
unexpectedly. Yeah, rear naked choke unexpectedly, and you can see just how excited and like no one saw this coming because the young lady Valashko or whatever her name is, she did a roundhouse kick and old girl jumped her back, basically just jumped on her back and it was a wrap.
Yeah, she missed and she climbed her back.
She climbed her back and it was a wrap, bro. And from there on it was like, oh my god, like how did that like she timed it perfect. And don't get me wrong, the fight was even. It was an even fight up until that moment. It was pretty much an even fight. She did what she did. It was a great, like I said, it was a great match. But she caught her slipping, and old girl gave her mad props for what she had done, and she took away the win, man. And of course, she was in tears. I mean, she was so excited. She had pulled off something that hadn't been done, and I don't know, man. It was a good match, And like I said, when it's all said and done, she's the first Mexican-born UFC title holder, first Mexican-born UFC women's UFC title holder. Alexa Grasso.
Shout out to Alexa Grasso.
Women's champion, man. There it is. Mad shouts out to her for being able to accomplish that, man, because that's huge for her country. That's huge for her gender, all of that. You know what I'm saying? She's going down in history books for UFC for making that happen. But yeah, it was some good fights. Like I said, luckily the prelims were good because the main fight, I'm not saying the main card, the main fight, because the main card was good because old girl was on the main card.
Yeah, she was a cold.
This dude here, though, I'm gonna tell you about this dude. What's his name? Rachmanov. This dude is this guy here is finna be problems. This guy here is about to be mad problems. This dude, I think he's with the win this Saturday.
What's going on?
What's up, Fred? What up? Good morning. Understand. This guy here is about to be. He's 16-0 after this. Rachmanov, he is the truth. He's 6'4", and this was a great fight again. Neil.
Yeah, it was another one.
Neil, this was a good fight.
It was unfortunate. Neil didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It was a good fight. Neil was trying to. This was supposed to be like a comeback
them
for
elbows,
him.
bro.
Yeah, them elbows.
I think that personally, it would become a whole different fight. He'd be like, it's like you hit me with a damn elbow.
Them elbows hurt. I mean, it was a good fight. Neil did what he did, but Rachmanov, you gotta like this dude. He took some punches. Don't get me wrong. Now Neil stunned him a couple of times.
It was a brawl. He stunned him.
Yeah, he stunned him a couple of times. But this right here, you about to see right now what's about to happen. Rachmanov is about to put a move to end the fight. I think this was the last round. Round 3. This is round 3. They had 2 more rounds.
He put him to sleep on this one, didn't he? Or was it the next one?
He put him in another rear naked choke. But it was a standing rear naked choke.
Yeah, I was about to say he picked him up. And it was like
you seen Rachmanov try to take him to the ground. Neil wouldn't allow. Neil wouldn't. Now you could clearly see Neil is hurt. Neil was hurt. He was hurt earlier from a body shot, from a kick to the rib cage. He caught him. Yeah, so he bent over.
He left his body open, definitely over.
Yeah, he left him with the body shot. But there it is, right there. He got it. He's under it. He's already under it. He's under. He's done.
He hooks and then picks him up. There you go. He already
been back. It's over. It's a wrap. He's good night. See you tomorrow. Good look, and he just falls to the ground. And I mean, when it's all said and done, Rachmanov 16-0, bro. Remember this dude. Rachmanov, remember him. Can't speak no English. Remember him. He's one to watch. He's looking for a title. So be sure to look for this dude because he's looking for a title. Now, John Bones Jones. Now I give it to him. He got the win, but I need y'all to. As soon as he walked into the ring, man, first thing I said was, "Woo!" And tell me what you. I said, "Woo!"
The dudes from the Stans are definitely problems. Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the guys from the Stans are definitely having that part. But like, look at Bon Jovi. He put on some weight.
Yeah,
he put on some.
He was heavier, and he didn't like how he felt moving around at the weight that he had earlier, so he had to cut some weight. You know what I'm saying? Where he feel like he can move around. So,
but his, I was like, bruh. And this is what happened. This is what was said after the post, because everybody asked, of course, John Rogan asked, "Who do you want to fight next? What's next for you, John Bone Jones?" And this is what he had to say. There has never been a fight that means more to me than beating. Yep. I don't think I've ever fought a GOAT, and people consider him the greatest heavyweight of all time. No, none of the past champions that I've beat were considered GOAT. So this GOAT versus GOAT means the world to me. It's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. They haven't set a date, of course. You don't know when the date is.
This is what I would say to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would Miocic, he's a pretty good fighter, and Miocic is not bad at all. Why is he considered a GOAT when Ngannou, unfortunately, Ngannou would have been the GOAT. But of course, Ngannou isn't present anymore because he gave up his belt, which allowed Jones to beat Cyril to take the belt. So that's interesting to say Miocic is his GOAT. But I mean, in any case, what's gonna saying I'm very sure they're gonna make it happen. John Fox GOATs in the past. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's just John.
I agree. I do. He has, in my opinion, he has. Is it disrespectful on John Jones' part? Or is disrespectful from the okay? So
I think he's being disrespectful by saying I have never fought a GOAT. So that's basically like all the other people I done beat, because technically he's only lost one round, and the one bout he's ever lost was a disqualification for throwing illegal elbows. So so it's like, has he lost technically? Like, you know what I'm saying, when you look at that. So it's just like, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna try and leave that go. I was gonna bring up the game, but I was gonna say it's just like so.
Any way you can try and find a way to bring up the game
all year long until the next Super Bowl.
Anywho, we was there. We was there. We was there.
So say that's basically what it comes down to. That's what it's mind games, or him just putting the plug in, like, okay, I'm that dude. I haven't faced the GOAT before, so this is going to be that. Until he faces him, and if he knocks him off, then he goes into the dumps to trash with the rest of them. Like, okay, yeah, you wasn't built for, you wasn't ready, you wasn't that dude. You know what I'm saying? So in the case, it seems like the only person in which he's really battling is himself. Especially when you look at the situations which Jones has been through. Not to bring up all his past just transgressions and stuff like that, but for the most part, he has been his only problem or challenge in
his own. Yeah, he's been his own the Achilles heel. He's been his
own across. You know what I'm saying? Across, like, he ain't just come in as a lightweight. He has battled up from that. He has multiple championship wins at different divisions. It's like he gets bored. He's like, let me go ahead and break up. So he can't get no higher than the heavyweight. The only thing he can do to improve himself is drop way back down to a lesser weight and continue to dominate, which we're probably not going to see. But for the most, he said right now there's no competition. Exactly, and that's true, Rodney. It's no competition for him right now. And this man had a 3-year layoff. Like, who comes back after 3 years and wins his first
match
in a challenge to take the belt? It's
in the first round. In the first round. In 2 minutes.
Someone that's like, not that bad. So I mean, shout out to Jones. He did his thing.
He did it in exceptional fashion, man. Like, when it's all said and done, the guy, I don't know. To me, a lot of people say, I've heard people say today that it was, it was fixed, all of that. But me, because when it initially happened, right, when I first looked at it, I was like, really?
This is what Coach Walcott is like. He doesn't understand, how did he submit Surreal? How did he even how did he get him against? How did he submit him when he was against the fence? It's like, that's
because of the fact, but what you got to realize is, and even they talked about it, when you look at it, the submission, at first I was like, really? I was the same. I was like, really? Did he just tap out? But look how he's got John Bones, 246 pounds. Putting the pressure on his neck. And his arm was underneath his neck. So he's choking him out, as well as look at his weight. He's putting his weight all on top of him. That's a lot of weight on. And then he had already jumped on his back earlier prior to that. So and then he's up against the fence. There was nothing the guy could do. It was what it was, man. And you just got to give props to where props is due, man. John Bones Jones did what he did. Old boy found himself in a bad situation early, and he got the win. He took the win. It is what it is. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to UFC 285. For doing things. Like I said, 286 is coming up, 87. Like, for the next 3 weekends, they have fights going on. Major fights. I think Desanya. I think Desanya is about to fight here. Adesanya, Israel Adesanya. I think he fighting.
He fights in the
third week.
2 months.
Yeah, I think he fights. The third week. I want to say Adesanya fights the 3rd week.
Oh, the Usman's on the 18th.
Is Usman? Is one of them? Is Usman, one of them?
That's the next one. Next month is Usman, and he just lost his belt as well. He will have to crown for a while, just like Anderson Silva. That was another GOAT. He is
right.
That submission was a blood choke. Okay, submission was a blood choke. You have guillotine. Guillotine.
That's exactly what it was. It's a guillotine. Yep. 3 seconds, 5 seconds is all you need. Yeah.
He's like how you said his face said it. He said God's face said it all. Bones let him go.
He did. It said everything.
We'll see. I like I was getting ready to say, like, I will. At what point does it? I mean, one is fighting because you're a professional, but what point does it become personal? Like, this dude just tried to kill me. Or you know what I'm saying? I wonder what goes on in the person's head. Like for Neil, man, Neil got choked out and fell asleep. He went to sleep, and because he was like, it wasn't that quick. Because he's like he tapped, or did he's like, and then he was like,
yeah,
and that was it. So it's like, Rodney, have you ever been put to sleep? Or
yeah. I watched Rodney get put to sleep before.
for real?
Yeah, when he was doing what do you call it that we used to do. I don't even know if they still combatives. You know, because if you do combatives, you know you a part of the training is you got to get choked out.
Oh no, we not doing that. That's why I never
Yeah.
became combative certified.
Yeah, you got to get choked out. Combatives, yeah. Thank you. Understand? Yeah, combatives. I seen.
Oh, he said the combatives class.
I told you, yeah, I seen it. I was there when it happened. I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it.
I see that's that type of stuff. Like, bro, you just like it's not over. Like that was part of the.
But
skit,
that's part of the training. It's not like he didn't get choked. Yeah, it wasn't that he was doing a match or nothing. No, it's a part of the training. You have to
see it go. And you sit up and think about it, because just like that was over a decade ago, right?
Yes,
and it was in training. But here we are talking about it, and so I have to sit up and think that in my head for the rest of my life that I was seeing choked out, and so it's like it put to sleep. Regardless,
this how you feel too when you see somebody about to get choked out.
Oh,
you like, oh,
like right, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good, man.
And I walked up to him, I said, you good, bro? Couldn't get pulled past the clinch drill. Oh, you didn't get, oh wow, back and forth hood. I remember I was there. I allowed a soldier to choke me out so people could know what it feels like and how it happened. Yeah, I remember the whole thing. And I walked up and said, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm straight. I think he said you're gonna have a headache. He had a headache later on or some stuff like that. You get a headache afterwards.
He said he couldn't get past.
Couldn't get certified. Couldn't get past the clinch drill.
I remember the only thing. So how I learned the blood choke is we learned it. It wasn't combatives, but we learned it because I was getting ready to go on a deployment, and they was basically trying. It was part of the stuff that they had us do. So it's like if you ever come in a situation where you're in had to go hand to hand, because it's like, okay, this is some stuff you can do. So that's how I learned the blood choke. But,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this is pretty dangerous. You know what I'm saying? The blood choke. So ever since then, I've been looking to blood choke somebody. But when it comes down to it, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. Because when the dude sit up and pick me up, he sit up and put me in it. Of course, instantly, it's like that look that you get, you know, when you like you get choked, you like that was instantly, I could feel it. So I was like, real quick, like tap, like, no, we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Because it's gonna get real personal if you know what I'm saying. It's just that quick. I don't care if you sergeant major, whoever you become at that point. You just put me within the inch of my life. You just basically cut off my circulation. So that's how I see it. That's what my mindset would have been on the carpet. Like, no, he just put me within the inch of my life. What would you have did, sir? Something like that.
That part, yeah.
He said, "You can't let someone swing at me and not defend myself." He said,
"That part, bro. That part, bro. I totally, I totally get it. I totally get it."
See, that's where you get it.
I made it up to level 4 combative training, level 3 combative instructor before I retired. Okay. Yeah, I knew all about Jordan being that. I knew all about Jordan being instructor and was big into combative. Yeah, that was Jordan was big into boxing.
Yeah, boxing all
first, and then he got into
pugilistic sports in general.
Yeah.
Something else that could almost be considered as pugilistic yet and foremost, like we was just saying, St. Louis Billikens for the women punched their ticket to the big dance. In the ACC, the Virginia Tech Hokies get there to go into the dance with the 75-67 win over Louisville. St. Louis, South Carolina Gamecocks, what did we expect? They was the number 1 team over the course of the year, 32-0. They punched their ticket with a 74-88 win over Tennessee to win the SEC. The Big Ten was won, of course, by Iowa Hawks and Caitlin Clark, averaging 27 points on the year. They throttled the Ohio State Buckeyes with a score of 105-72 in their win over them to secure their championship. The Washington State Cougars take the Pac-12 championship for women with a 65-61 win over the UCLA Bruins. So they punched their ticket. In the Big South, Gardner Webb Running Bulldogs get it to the dance, 74-61 for their championship in over High Point. And then, of course, we have over the course of the following days 20 more institutions to punch their tickets in the women's. Of course, if the women's is started, then that means the men's got it going on
right
too.
Behind. Yep, right behind them. Yep.
A couple of have already punched their ticket. Fairleigh Dixon Knights punched their ticket in the NEC with their 70-50 win over St. Francis of Pennsylvania. Ohio State Valley, Ohio Southeast Missouri State Red Hawks punched their ticket with an 89-82 win in overtime over Tennessee Tech over the course of the weekend. UNC Asheville Bulldogs get the win over Campbell in the Big South with the 77-73. Bulldogs win. Missouri Valley Drake Bulldogs win over Bradley 75-51, and the ASUN Kennesaw State Owls get the victory over Liberty 67-66 to round out for those that already punched their ticket to the dance this coming week. Light-skinned brothers tap out quick. Whatever that I got heat for people like you. That's all.
You stupid.
Let me stop because we already know John did. You know, what I'm saying the situation going on with John Weapons. So,
please, yeah.
So
you already know, man. Shouts out to Don Staley, man, and the Carolina Gamecocks, man, undefeated, and they have a chance to go to the big game or a big, of course, March Madness and be the first team since 2016. I think it's 2016. UConn did it, or the Huskies did it, where they went undefeated and won the national championship.
You know what I just realized? It was funny. As I look at you and Rodney, neither one of y'all is too much darker than me. You talk about I'm light skinned.
Trey, yeah, we are.
No, yeah, you know what? Well, we're not going to get the complexion thing over here.
Light skin problem.
Neither one of y'all is like a shade lighter than me.
I've never been considered light skinned. You
have.
You
sure have. A shade lighter than me. The audacity
if somebody was, I guarantee you, if somebody was like, grab a paper. That part, right? I swear, if somebody was to be like, if somebody was to try to describe you and be like, "Hey, if y'all know
red,
they'd be like, "Y'all know Savvy?" They was like, "What do he look like?" "Oh, he light skinned." That's what they gonna say, bro. They gonna say he light skinned.
Drink more milk.
Or either they gonna say light skin or brown skin. They gonna say he light skin or brown skin. One of them two. They definitely ain't finna call you dark skin.
I didn't say I was dark skinned. I have never in my life claimed to be dark skinned in any way, form, or fashion. Nothing against dark skinned people.
But see, for me and Rodney, they gonna call us dark skin. That's go. Hey, who is this? Oh, he got the
what, they might say you the darker one. He's darker than Trey. That way they might say
that boy.
Y'all are
Trey drink more milk.
My quad is dark skinned. Y'all are nowhere close to the same. Y'all are about, you know what I'm saying?
Your who?
My quad, my LB.
Oh yeah. Oh, you talking about AB?
Yeah, he's dark skinned. That's what they're saying.
Y'all are not. What are we?
Thank you,
bro. Trey can't be in Black Panther.
You gonna call me a colonizer or Black Panther?
Hey, the only person he can play is Killmonger. Hello. And they ain't gonna let him play Killmonger because of his eyes. So they're gonna be like, nah,
like I said, they're gonna call me a colonizer. Colonizer. Oh my goodness.
That's funny, Trey. Oh, Rodney, you crazy, boy. You crazy. That is funny.
But when you go back, back to sports, because
back to sports, please. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
I was about to say I had a Native American come up and told me I was a Native American. I was like, okay.
Wow.
She did. She's like, she's like, it's no way, because she's like, I look like some of her family, people in her family. So she considered me. She's like, she's a Native American. I done had a person come up. He thought I was Latin. He's like, where are you from? I was like, I'm from California. He's like, no. He's like, yo, you're race. I was like, I'm black. No. He's like, I don't know.
He said, "What? How you gonna
like
tell me what I am?"
Told me I was Dominican, basically.
Oh wow.
He's like, that's what he thought. He's like, he thought I was Latin. He's like, he thought I was a Latin.
So, Trey, what did you think about the combine? I'm sure you watched it because I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I'm sure you watched it.
So, moving on to some NFL conversation, I didn't fully get a chance to catch. I cut bits and pieces of it here and there. I was basically watching it for the most part on my phone, of course, going in and checking to see what parts of just checking the stats are right. Of course, they did have a fastest time, but there was no one that eclipsed the. Excuse me. No one that eclipsed the top record that we know. What's the 4.2.
4.21, wasn't it? I think the fastest time
or
was
4.26. 4.26, I think it's the fastest time. Or 4.22. I think it's the fastest time.
Okay, that's what I thought it was 4.22. I'm finna say 4.26 is up here now.
Yeah,
these are the fastest times. Yeah, 4.22. So the fastest times for this draft, or for this combine, I'm sorry, was the right here, which you had Turner, who ran a 4.26 official. Of course, a bunch of corners, a few wide receivers. What would impress me was Jamar Gibbs ran a 4.36 out of Alabama. And Darius Rush ran a 4.3, a bunch of 4.36s, 4.35s, but that 4.26, oh boy, out of Michigan, he was getting it. And not to mention, Anthony Richardson ran a full 4.40 as a quarterback.
And had
4.40. That was crazy to run a full 4.40 for triple fours. I would pick him.
What's going on, Coach Cal? Glad to have you.
What up, Coach Cal? What's good? I would have picked him. I would pick him because this dude, Anthony Richardson,
had asked you to ask him to work this week,
huh? Anthony Richardson, bro, from Florida. That boy is something to remember. This face, because that boy, his combine numbers, his throws. Now I didn't see the combine trade, but I did get to see some, some highlights from Sports Center and stuff like that to see what he actually did. So I did get to see that. That boy Richardson, they already talking about he's gonna jump. He's probably gonna get picked before. Not CJ Stroud, but what's his name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, thank you. They already say he's probably gonna get picked before Bryce Young. I wonder
how much can you really put. Like, when is the last time we saw great intangibles from someone at the combine and they have lived up to that? I.e., maybe who was that? What's his name?
Lamar Jackson.
Jackson Mahomes.
Lamar Jackson. What?
Jackson? Were they all in that? Go ahead.
What was you about to say?
I said, was they all in the same draft? No, they was drafted. I think Lamar was drafted a year after Mahomes. But in any case, like but have lived up to it to where it has become like Jackson. We know he is, saying he's won an MVP. But of course, we're getting further and further away from that MVP in which he's won. At this point, we're 3 years removed from that. 4 years, I think, because what's his name won it twice, back to back. Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes won it before him, I think, or after him, and then Mahomes just won another one. So we're starting to get further and further away from that MVP season in which he's had. At this point, heck, what's his name? Cam Newton had the MVP season as well, but we don't consider him, and we don't consider him to even be a Hall of Famer. And he took his team to a Super Bowl with a 15-1 record. We ain't seen Lamar get past the second round of the playoffs yet. But he has an
and this is the thing. MVP. We know the combine is all about numbers. When it's all said and done, numbers is what it is. But numbers don't equate to a whole lot when it comes to the NFL. Because we, like you just said, when we talk about it, no one remembers Tom Brady's number in the combine because he didn't do nothing in the combine. But he's the GOAT of the NFL. He's the GOAT. And it wasn't because he did nothing in the combine. Like, he ran, I think, a 5.3 in his 40. He didn't really, he was scrawny. Everybody, when they showed Tom Brady's combine, everybody's like, wow, this is our GOAT. This is your king. This is your king. But it is what it is. When it's all said and done, the combine is just numbers. It's numbers. Like Rodney said, I'm not a fan of the combine. Running drills shouldn't determine your ability to be as beneficial to the team in a major way. It's all still a gamble. It is. You hit it nail. You hit the nail on the head. When it's all
Now,
said and done, it's got to be. You have to be able to equate what mind you. Excuse me. A lot of people like, well, of course, when you do the combine, you not in no type of gear. You have cleats on and you in workout clothes. So a lot of that stuff really don't matter because you're not in the game. Excuse me, in street clothes. You got a helmet on, you got some heavy equipment on, helmet, pads, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong. When it's all said and done, yes, the numbers look good. Yeah, we know how fast you are, but why does that even matter if that's not what you're running with full padded? When it's all said and done, it's full padded. If it was, excuse me. Well, let me drink some water. I can't clear my throat. If it was for you to make the track team, then it'd be something different.
So what I will say from that is in state is I just see it. I keep seeing it.
It just come up. Yep, Derek. Yep, it is. It's official.
So what basically when you look at it and when you see it is someone like, let's say, Anthony Richardson, who has, like we were just talking about, how he touted his numbers look pretty good for, like you said, 4.4 in the 40 for a quarterback. He had a wide receiver type jump as he 40 inches on the jump, on his high jump, which puts him up there. He showed off his arm with precision passing. So even with all that, the ideal is that he has a couple of teams that's going to be vying for him or going to take a look at him for the most part. The expectation is he could potentially go to the Carolina Panthers at the number 9 pick, potentially unseat Jared Goff with Detroit at the number 6 or 18 pick, which I don't foresee because I think Jared Goff is probably seen as that person right now. So I don't think they're going to remove Jared Goff at this point. Other conversation was him to the Las Vegas Raiders at number 7. The Washington Commanders picking him up at number 16. Then even if someone lets him slip further on down, the opportunity for the Seahawks at even number 5 or number 20 to be a backup,
we talked about him,
or to push Geno Smith in his and for his job, to come and push Kyle Trask for the job in Tampa Bay at number 19. And of course, long shots being an opportunity to go to the Indianapolis Colts, who have a 4th pick, but they are currently without a quarterback for the most part, or there is an open. And then even tell me what you think about this, Bishop. Minnesota at number 23 to potentially push or unseat or be a backup to Kirk Cousins at some point, putting him in there with Jefferson or something like that.
You talking about Richardson, right?
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, yes.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, his numbers, again, I just talked about numbers as far as the combine concerned, but like he wowed and they even said his trainer even said before the combine that Richardson was finna wow Richardson was finna wow the whole combine. Mind you, Richardson is 6'4", 247. 6'4", 247 pounds at a quarterback.
He's a big
that
body.
Is huge.
He can see
that is Cam
numbers.
That is Cam Newton size.
Numbers. Yeah.
Yes, that's Cam Newton size. 247, 6'4", running a 4.40. Bruh. That's crazy. That's crazy. So he's definitely going to put himself in a position to definitely be up in the top 5 picks. And like you said, all them teams in which you just named that are looking at a quarterback, he's definitely going to be on the board. He's definitely going to be on the board without question, bro. He's definitely going to be on the board. And I can see him in Minnesota. I don't know where Minnesota is in the picks.
23.
23? But see, this is the thing. You don't
think he makes it down that far?
I don't. Not after that showing. I don't.
So after a story like that, Bishop, are you going to perform at your pro day?
No. After he ran his 4.40, they even said he shouldn't even run the 40 no more because I think you get two runs. Yeah. They said don't. They was like once he ran that 4.40, they was like don't run it again. Don't run it. You solidified it. Leave it at that. Don't give him an opportunity to say it was a mistake or not. Leave it as is. I don't know whether or not he ran it twice or not, but they said everybody that was commentating was like, "Don't run it again." And I would not do a pro day. Only reason, let me recant that. Only way I would redo a pro day.
Your receiver that needs you.
No. Okay. Only way I would do it if a specific team asked me. A specific team was like, I need to see this. Like for what? Because I don't know. I don't know if you saw it, but some quarterbacks like him, I think it was old boy from Kentucky, CJ Stroud. They threw like the deep ball. They threw the deep ball, and then they did it like a whole nother rotation again to allow them to throw the deep ball again. I don't think Anthony Richardson got back into that rotation, and a lot of people, even the people that were, Richard Eisman and all them, they wanted him to rethrow because they was like they wanted to see him throw against C.J. Stroud and old boy from Kentucky again and all of that. They wanted to see him throw again.
Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis, that's him. They wanted to see him throw it. They wanted to see Richardson throw again, but he didn't. But C.J. Stroud and Levis threw like twice the deep ball, the fade ball. So I could see. I'm not
gonna give you nothing to sit up and try. I'm like, if you got what you got with me during the season. Although his season was cut pretty short because of an injury. But you got what you got. You got what you got from me previously. You just got what you got from me here. I'm done. That's it.
And that's the thing, bro. I would say, like, if you did not see this dude, like he's more cut up than Cam. Like this dude is like for real, he's that dude. Like he's a big cat, man. I'm not gonna lie. That is a big dude. 6'4", 247? Bruh, that's linebacker size. Without the height, most linebackers ain't that big. That's like lineman, but linebacker weight.
So what about someone like Hendon Hooker, who we've seen Tennessee before he had his knee injury, who probably won't even be able to perform at a pro day? Right. What do you say something like that? Yeah. He probably I think he would be ready to go for the NFL season if he does get selected, but he's not going to probably be able to perform at go at a pro day. Where do you see someone like that in that aspect? Would you as a GM or / coach be willing to take a flyer on somebody like the Hendon Hooker?
So all I have to go off of, excuse me, as a coach or a scout is what I've seen Hendon Hooker do last season for Tennessee, mind you, which they was on pace to make the Final Four, I guess you could say. Yeah, until he got hurt, of course, until he got injured. And that, with that being said, we never know how that would have ended for Tennessee. But I don't know, because what was his injury? What was his injury? Knee injury, right?
MCL, ACL, one or two. Yeah.
Right. So
ACL, that's what it was.
I would definitely want to give him a workout. I would definitely want to see what he has to offer. However, I don't know if I could take my chances on him, bro. Like,
well, he could probably I was about to say he can potentially go undrafted and just go with the team of his choice that comes and pick him. But chances are he's probably going to get picked and be a pick and stash to where someone can see the value of go ahead picking them up late in the draft, and then letting him work his way in. So it'll be an unfortunate situation. But like again,
I'm sorry, he was 244, not 247. 244, 6'4" and a quarter. 244. My bad.
That's a big dude. That's a big boy, yeah.
And he launches that ball like it's nothing, like it's a feather, bro. And look at him. Look at his build. Like this dude, like he launches that thing like I'm not gonna lie, bro. He launches that thing like it's a feather. Like they had he throws that thing, bro. And then there was CJ Stroud, who's 6'3", 214, which is a nice size for a quarterback. And I think this is what I saw, where they was like allowing them to throw the ball. He underthrew the first, which a lot of him and Levis underthrew, but it was only the first ball. It was like their warm-up ball, as you could say. And it's a fade route, because at that second cone, you're supposed to fade toward the sideline. And see, now he just overthrew him. And well, actually, he didn't overthrow him. My boy just dropped that, to be honest. It was in his hand. He just dropped it. But CJ Stroud hasn't had a nice throw. Bennett was good too, but he's old. I mean, some of these quarterbacks, see that one he kind of waited on, and that's remember what we talked about the other day, Trey. When you throwing against receivers that you don't know, people that you have like
you don't know their speed,
you don't know their speed, you can't gauge it. You just throwing the ball up and hoping. Like, see, he stopped running, and if he kept running, he probably would have caught that. You just don't know, and it's the same for receivers. You don't know the quarterback either, so you don't know if he's finna throw it out in front of you or if you finna throw it, short.
Yeah, his
you
arm strength,
But they launching it. Look at that. And he threw that from the nylon. That's a 50 to 60-yard throw. That's what they were talking about when it came to Richardson. This boy, he's throwing it from the watch where he throws the ball from the 9-yard line. Look where it lands. He throws the ball from the 9-yard line. It lands right at the 28. Like, this boy is throwing that ball, bro. That's a throw, bro. Like, these boys are throwing that peel. So it's going to be interesting, man. The draft is going to be interesting next month. Can't wait to see how everything turns out for these young student athletes, man. I'm looking forward to it. But I do see Richardson going before
everybody else to be in top.
Bryce Young. Well, Bryce Young. I see him going before Bryce Young because Bryce Young again is 6 feet, listed at 6 feet, 200-something pounds. Didn't throw during the combine. He may throw during his pro day or whatever, but it's yet to be determined. We'll see.
To see Richardson on the back of a 49ers jersey. But anyway,
thank you. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. You interrupted yourself.
So what do you say about
how you even gonna ask for another quarterback? We just talked about this stuff. Hey, Trey, don't do that. Just do here, man.
We gotta Lord. They might want.
How you just said y'all good with Trey Lance? Now you want to go after another quarterback?
We ain't got no choice but to be good with Trey Lance. We can't get off him. So what do you say? Just last year, Allen Robinson was brought into the Rams organization, and already a year later, not even a year later, because it's still some time, they're already giving him permission to seek a trade.
Damn.
That goes to show Allen Robinson was not that dude in which we thought he was, even in hence the reason Chicago got off him. Like, here, you can have him. It's unfortunate. What would that make you feel like as a receiver, or even as a GM, looking like, bro, you was in Chicago and you went to the Los Angeles Rams and you had an opportunity to develop yourself and better yourself because Cooper Kupp was out, and this is what you do. Now the team is saying you can seek a trade. Like, if they say you can seek a trade, you already know what's coming next. If you don't get that trade, chances are you're gonna be out on the street.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So today is the 6th day of the Roku. Shout out to all my Rokus out there. Today is March the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Today is March the 6th.
Correct.
Which means tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 1400 Central Standard Time, if a person that has not been franchise tagged or anything will be able to engage with whomever they want as far as a free agent. You know who one of those people is, Bishop?
Hold on.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But they expect to franchise tag him though. Also another person, Daniel Jones.
Trash.
Daniel Jones.
I heard they're gonna, but they talking about you talking about Daniel Jones. That's what the Giants.
Yeah, they're going to franchise tag him.
They've already said that. Yeah, well, they haven't said it, but they're looking at he's going to get. Yeah,
they're going to franchise tag him and sign Saquon Barkley with the options of probably coming back and bring Daniel Jones back in after the fact. So that means both Daniel Jones as well as Lamar Jackson. That means the organization is willing to say, for this year, we're willing to pay you $32 million to be our quarterback.
The base,
you say, for the franchise tag. So with that being said, Bishop, what do you think about that? Like, you just said it was trash.
It is. It's unfortunate for Lamar, because he's worth more than that. He's worth way more than that, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's worth more than that.
32 million for a year.
I think he's worth more.
So the one reason I think it's unfortunate because I think there's nothing wrong with making $32 million for a year.
No, definitely not for anybody like us.
but
damn
so
spike.
so I was about to say I'll make 32,000 for a year, but
That part, bro.
but for making 32 million for a year, the only problem in that for me when it comes to Lamar Jackson is he's a mobile quarterback. He gets it, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times off the so what it puts him in position to be injured and to mess up his bag, i.e., like I guess you could say in a sense like what he did this year. He played on himself. He betted on himself, obviously, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work out for him due to he got injured in week 8.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't get a chance to come back to even do to show, okay, yes, y'all need to sign me because resign me because of this, that, the third.
Right.
Not Brett Huntley. Huntley comes back. Huntley comes in and he shows, okay, I can be serviceable, but he can make it work the whole during the playoffs. But with some time under center, maybe he probably can be better, maybe potentially. So it's like you put that all in perspective. It's like, wow, this is what I don't know if we can say this is what they do to Lamar Jackson because in-state, like we said, is a business, but if they franchise tag him, the franchise tag is only to hold him in place at least for that year. After the year, then of course they can, or during the course of the year, they can re-sign him contract, give him an extended contract for what they believe he's worth. But that is it's a very slippery slope in the case, from my opinion, when it comes to Lamar Jackson, because the type of style he plays with, and
Right.
that could be demanding to them. Some similar to what Daniel Jones too. Like Daniel Jones is kind of like he gets outside the pocket and runs, and you got to think it was a reason they didn't pay him to his 5th year, didn't sign him for his 5th year to begin with, his extension. So now he's out the extension. He's done exactly what they hoped that he's done, but now he's like, nah, y'all. Last week's price is not this week's price.
Facts.
And so now they can't sign them. So what happens if them and Saquon can't come up with a deal either? You're looking at your top 2 current players in your offense, your running back and your quarterback, that aren't getting down. So the idea I think they hope is to sign Saquon and then come back, because they only can franchise tag one. They're going to sign Saquon and they're going to come back and they're going to franchise Jones with the option to come back and figure out what they're going to be able to offer him after that. They said Jones. They said Jones wants to make 45 million. I think
24 season. Oof. I mean, and it's kind of jacked up, man, because not only with both them being franchised, and I'm talking about Lamar and Jones. Now that finally that kind of jacks up people like Jalen. Excuse me, because now they're looking at Jalen isn't a Lamar. However, he led the league in quarterbacks with rushing touchdowns. So, maybe it might be a good idea for us to franchise Jalen too, which would be terrible for Jalen, in my opinion.
I don't think they're going to do Jalen like that, because he's currently looking at his 5th year for them to pick up his 5th year option, which I'm very sure they're going to do, and then they're probably going to extend him soon as well. But what it does, it kind of hurts, because we know with every signing, someone resets the market. Now they haven't came out and said what Carr's numbers are yet.
Once he signed with the Saints, correct?
Yeah, but
which his numbers, which he, it's not going. He not finna set the market though.
So well, probably not. But so what's interesting is when Carr first went, because the Saints have been at the Carr since they was talking about the situation to where they was talking about trading. So maybe there was a conversation that's like maybe this was always in the works, to where New Orleans was going to bring Carr in. But they was like, nah, we're just not going to. It could have been smoke and mirrors to say, well, we're not going to pay you. So that's why I want to know how much you're going to pay him, because Carr was due to make $40 million, in which they could have traded. Yeah, from Vegas, in which if they would have at the time, Vegas was still owner of his contract. They could have traded.
That's just over the franchise tag. $5 million over the franchise tag.
$8 million over franchise. It was a little over $7 million over the franchise. True. There was $40 million, which they was gonna do it. So for Carr, that's interesting. That's why I was like looking now, like I wonder what he's gonna make on yearly, because they didn't want to pay $40 million, but of course, if to get him into the fold, they would have had to have paid. They would have had to have gave up something because it was a trade. But of course, if you don't give up nothing, they're not going to pay him, and then it's going to step and release him. So they got rid of him prior to, which made him free to after he cleared waivers to, in which no one's going to ask, saying bring him up, pick him up on waivers. Now he was able to go back in because one of the things what they said they wanted him to take a pay cut. So I wonder what is it that we're, or have we basically looking at he's taking a pay cut potentially for the first year and he's going to make it on the back end of his contract. Like I just wonder what that contract, what he's getting paid, and what that contract is going to become out it up being to be once it's all said and done. But 4 years for Derek Carr, what do you think about that? Alvin Kamara, if he's going to be there, Chris Olave, Landry, and potentially Michael Thomas. He trades Michael Thomas for Devontae Adams.
Oh, you saying Devontae Adams going?
I'm saying that's basically where he goes. He goes from Devontae Adams to Michael for potentially Michael Thomas.
Thomas and him, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm eager to see what exactly they're gonna do.
It's almost like the Saints instantly become a front runner to win the division because there's no Tom Brady in their division now.
Right.
There's no Atlanta is searching for somebody, and then Carolina is in flux. So it's almost like off the back by default, New Orleans is primed and ready to go to take the driver's seat for the NFC. What's the NFC North South?
I think South, yeah. I think the NFC South, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing what the Saints' plans are with Carr, with Kamara, with all that they have over there. Now, what is Taysom Hill? How does he go? What is his role now?
Weapon?
Yeah, what's going to happen with Winston, Jameis?
Someone got to go.
Somewhere is going. Something has to happen.
They're not gonna hold all three of them. Someone's gonna play a backup of the other one.
Right.
Do you keep Winston as a backup?
That's a good question.
At this point, honestly, even though we know what Winston could bring to the table, I would keep him as a backup because we know what he has brought to the table. And instead, it's just like, we've all San Francisco showed you what happens when you don't have when you have a backup,
you lose all your backups.
Yeah, yes. We see what happens.
You lose all your backups.
Inopportune time. So it's like to have Winston in that same fray, he almost plays the role of Jimmy Garoppolo at that point, to where you have someone that's capable.
No, and I thought I heard something about they trying to change the rule about that too.
They're trying to see if they can get where they can get have another quarterback in reserve or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. Because of what happened with San Francisco.
Situation. Yeah. Right. So now you have it in a situation to where now you have to basically play on it to where San Francisco had Jimmy G. He was on the bench, but he wasn't cleared. He wasn't ready to go play yet. That's currently what you have in like Winston for the most part. Like he went out with the back injury, and New Orleans said he could have played, but he wouldn't have made it out under the line. It's like it just was situation, one thing after another. So that's why I wouldn't keep Jameis Winston in play. I would just go ahead and let him walk out, or depending on what it is, or release him over a case like that. Speaking of releases, the Minnesota Vikings have released veteran linebacker Eric Kendricks, in which most likely was a salary cap. As we know, is getting closer and closer to where the teams need to be under the salary cap. So we're going to probably start seeing a lot of cuts and releases of players and some big names that are have garnered and received a pretty nice payday, in which they probably haven't paid up to expectations, or maybe there's other people which are looking at. So Kendricks or Eric Kendricks, a casualty, I guess you could say, when it comes to the salary cap. Wow. Bishop, I ask you this question: when it comes to your top players, how far are you willing to go to saying, hey, someone got to go when it's time for you to start trimming fat? Are you open to getting rid of a top tier player if they're making too much money and you don't think they're at where they should be for the money in which you're making?
And when we talk top tier, we talking about the player of the team for the most part. That's pretty much the
top tier on your team. Like
Hold on.
he gets some conversation around the league, but
Hello.
So as he actually was called, for me, I don't know. It comes down to it. It's like, what is that going to look like for his? Of course, Eric Kendricks. He was $9.5 million basically. They save on the salary cap because they get rid of him. That's key money in which they can use to bring back a player or bring back players at the end for that type of money. A couple of two. You got to think they're going to sign a couple of rookies, in which some of them are going to be lower tier, so they're not going to garner much to where they probably could put them under that $9 million, which they bring it back for an aging 13-year vet, 31-year-old vet as a linebacker. So that could be that's always something which you could take a look at for the most part. So it's unfortunate, especially for someone he can still play, but you just have to take into consideration. Like I gotta look at the best of the team, which that's a hard pill to swallow, I'm sure. A couple of other things because we really want to get into this conversation in the NBA and, like I said, men's college basketball. But I have a list compiled by Kevin Patra of the NFL.com, in which he gives his rendition of great fits, or some of the best fits when it comes down to at least one free agent in the various divisions, right? Conferences, I'm sorry. So in the NFC conference, a great fit that he states will be a good fit for the Arizona Cardinals would be James Bradbury, cornerback, formerly from the Philadelphia Eagles. Atlanta Falcons, Jesse Bates, safety from Cincinnati. The Carolina Panthers, Dalton Schultz for the Carolina, which is interesting because especially when you don't have a quarterback in place, but to bring in another tight end, as we know, Carolina has been pretty good when it comes to tight ends. Of course, you had the Olsons. Now you would think of a Schultz who was pretty formidable from that in that case, in my opinion, coming from Dallas. So that probably wouldn't be a bad pickup, as well as he's 27 years old, so he still got some tread on the tire. For the Chicago Bears, Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, who's actually, because of the salary cap, is going to probably be let go by the 49ers. So they look at him potentially moving on to Chicago or being a good pick. Of course, the aforementioned Odell Beckham, Dallas Cowboy. Brian Murphy, cornerback for the Detroit Lions. I bet that tight end going to go. You know what? That could be where they got it. So they have what's his name? He was pretty good this year, rookie. They have him there, but I think that wouldn't have been a bad that might be a good pickup. Anthony. It actually wouldn't be that bad, especially when you look at you got Williams and Allen there, Eckler, and then you add a tight end or a second tight end to kind of like mess around and move things on the battlefield or the playing field. That probably would be a pretty good pickup. Arden Key, another 49er, potentially the Green Bay. For the Rams, Isaac Samola, offensive guard from Philly. Minnesota Vikings, Rock Yassin, the cornerback. Derek Carr, aforementioned, we already know he currently is probably being signed, so he's already in the fold there in New Orleans to make a difference for them. Jordan Poyer going from Buffalo to New York, that would be crazy to see him put on that red, white, and blue, being in New York and adding to their defense. In Philly, Chauncey Gardner Johnson, CJ Johnson at cornerback, at safety, Chauncey Gardner to bolster their secondary, making it a little harder for Team GJ. For 49ers, defensive end Zach Allen, bringing in, interesting enough, especially with Bosa in his conversation with the idea of what it would look like if him and his brother played together, but more so seemingly with his brother, with him going to his brother as opposed to his brother coming to us. John Hargrave for the Seahawks. Azir Al-Shir for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another potential casualty for the 49ers. That's 3 on the list alone, just in the NFC. in which I think he's pretty good with Greenlaw and Warner, but it gets to a point to where they play where you don't have the money to play everybody if they've gotten better. And last but not least, TJ Edwards potentially to the Washington Commanders. On the opposite side of the spectrum, of course, when you look at it from an AFC fits, of course, first on the list with the Baltimore Ravens, Jonathan Jones, uh, cornerback from Patriots with Baltimore, and which I don't understand. Baltimore, I think Baltimore's most glaring and where they need it most is a receiver, someone that's going to help out in the on offense to get for Lamar to be able to get the ball to that frees up some of that pressure that he gets. In Buffalo, Dalton Risner, offensive guard. For Cincinnati, Jawan Thornhill from Kansas City, safety. Cleveland Browns, Paris Campbell at wide receiver, young up and coming. Kind of, he probably could do some work. Maybe give a little something extra for uh, in the receiving game. Giving Lamar, I mean not Lamar, giving Deshaun a couple more people to throw to. You say bring back Huntley. And of course, and that definitely should happen as a backup. Clearly, to have a serviceable backup, but I think they need receivers. They need someone for Deshaun to someone to for Lamar to be able to throw to move the ball down the field and be helpful. If they have a run game, and once their running backs are healthy, it'll be able to be there. Now they just need a receiver to be able to feed the ball to. Like you just said about Cleveland and Paris Campbell, Deshaun Watson needs someone to give can get the ball to Amari Cooper. They have a running game in uh, Hunt and Chubb. Now to just put someone on and then Njoku as a tight end. Now to put somebody on the opposite side. So I think that could be a flip flop between Cleveland's with receivers and corners. I mean, the DBs. For Denver, Von Bell from Cincinnati, safety. Austin Hooper from to Houston, from Tennessee. Huh? Indianapolis Colts picking up Jermaine Pratt, potentially linebacker, Baltimore. George Fant, offensive tackle to Jacksonville, solidifying their line, making that might be a little threat. Kansas City Chiefs, DJ Shark from I don't know about that from Detroit. DJ Shark from Detroit to Kansas City. DJ Shark's pretty young, 26 years old. Las Vegas Raiders, Isaac Samalu, another one, offensive guard. He's been put in two positions from Philadelphia. So in shape, the idea is that they're going to lose. Philadelphia's going to lose Isaac for the most part. The Los Angeles Chargers, Zach Cummings, to bolster their defensive line, as they was seen, in my opinion, they were supposed to have a hell of a defense after all the acquisitions in which they made have got, of course, injuries set that back. Which they would look to potentially add another key part, adding Zach Cummings to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Miami Dolphins, this might work. Kareem Hunt with an opportunity to get somewhere where he could be probably the lone back. It wouldn't, even though I think the running back committee is what Coach Daniels is trying to go with in Miami, but to sit up and have Kareem Hunt in Miami potentially as a from free agency, that might actually work out. Kareem Hunt leaving Cleveland and going to Miami potentially. Also, Robert Woods got released by the Patriots. Got released by Tennessee, so he's up in there. What you say, he could be a good fit in New England. Jacoby Myers there already. The New York Jets needs to go ahead and look somewhere else because Derek Carr has signed with New Orleans. The Pittsburgh Morgan Fox defensive end. Tennessee Titans Foster Moreau at tight end. I don't know how that go because they definitely need a wide receiver if Tyler Hill is not going to be in play. So those are being the fits that they think is best for free agency going forth. As we get ready to get popping with that soon, very soon, uh, at some point we will start talking about who's going what round, and potentially after seeing the combine, there's going to be more of a concise. The teams start to put together where they think they're going to go with their picks. of course, that's a little bit different with free agencies getting ready to pop off to where you have players potentially that's going to be picked up, or people who are once that open. Of course, like you said, some top names we already know that are out there. Lamar being the one, but of course, as we stated, they're going to. He's not going to be. Matter of fact, let me go look at Philadelphia. What's Philly? Who's potentially going to depart from Philly? Here, let's see.
We got a bunch of them. I told you we got a bunch of people from Gardner Johnson to Darius Slay to
So let me know who you think
Miles Sanders.
Who's going to be detrimental to y'all if y'all lose. Okay, first off, you have Gardner Minshew.
No, he ain't detrimental. Hell no.
Miles Sanders.
Yes.
Boston Scott.
No.
Zach Pascal.
Zach Pascal. That's our other. That's our wide receiver. Zach. I don't know about him yet. Who else? It depends on who else we lose.
Andre Dillard.
Who is that? No.
Offensive tackle.
Oh no.
Isaac Samalo, offensive guard.
That's the Samoan dude. Yeah, yeah, that's detrimental. Yeah.
Jason Kelsey.
Hell yeah.
Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Edge. Robert Quinn, edge.
No, I think we all right. I think we could lose Quinn.
You think we could do without Quinn?
Yeah, we could do without Quinn.
Fletcher Cox.
No, we need to keep Fletch.
Javon Hargrave.
We need to keep Javon too.
Laval Joseph.
Nah, he can go.
And Dominic Sue.
Nah, I think we need. I know Dominic Sue is on his back end,
but you think you need?
I think he could be that cement we need for that front four.
T.J. Edwards, linebacker.
Oh, Edwards, yeah. No, he can go.
Kaiser White, another linebacker.
Linebacker. If we let Edwards go, yeah, he could go too.
You can't let both of them go. Basically, you need if you let both go, you need to keep one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, James Bradbury.
I want to keep James. I like James.
Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
I don't want to keep him too.
Marcus Epps.
He can go.
And Brett Kern.
Who?
Punter. Brett Kern, the punter.
Get a punter from anywhere. Darius Slay ain't on there?
No. Not as someone that's going. Yeah, he's not on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can get a punter from anywhere. We can get Oklahoma's punter. You see, he ran a 4.640.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he ran a 4.640. Oklahoma's punter. You need that when people try to run kickoffs returns back. You need that. Hey, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Corey Brewer. Just for y'all that don't know who Corey Brewer is, used to be with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, I was about to say the Washington.
Corey from University of Florida.
Was University of Florida? Yeah. I just want to wish Corey Brewer happy birthday, man.
Is this when you dunked on Derek Fisher? Yeah.
Corey Brewer.
Remember that. That was all. If you run that back, that was Kobe's fault.
Ow. Watch Derek Fisher's face.
That was Kobe's fault.
There go Kobe right there.
See, look, defense. It set him up. That was
he tried to. No. Yes, he did. He tried to.
Stop it.
Watch Kobe, bro. Kobe. He does. He tries to stop. He tries to stop the run right there. He tries to stop the run.
Didn't. What was that?
Bro, come on, man. Kobe
tried to stop the run. Kobe set that man up.
Look at Derek Fisher.
He's like, what was this? What is this? What? Kobe set him up, man.
Oh my gosh! But happy birthday to Corey Brewer, man. Good job, man.
Corey set the man up, man. When I seen that, I looked at it, I was like, that was Kobe's fault. No defense. I was like, what did Derek do to you?
Oh, I didn't know. What did Jalen Hyatt run in the combine? That's old boy from Tennessee. Oh, he ran a 4.42 as well. A 4.41. I'm sorry.
Y'all had somebody ran a 4.3. Mims ran a 4.3.
Yeah, Mims did. Mims ran well, and that's our running back. Mims ran well, and so did what was our running back? I can't even call his name right now. He ran well too.
I was about to say what the dude do, but of course, he probably didn't get invited. He didn't get invited to the combine, evidently. Stoops.
Oh, probably not. No, he didn't.
Don't worry.
You talking about Bob's?
Yeah,
Bob's
come on to San
son?
Francisco.
No.
We need that.
Well, no, he's got another year. He's got another year.
Oh, does he? I thought.
Yeah,
I thought he was a senior this year.
No, he got another year. He got another year. He already said it earlier. I forgot. He said earlier that he was coming back next season. Remember, don't forget about those kids. Don't forget about those student athletes that has that 1 year of extra eligibility because of
COVID.
COVID, yeah. So, and I think he's one of those. So, yeah, he's got another year. He's got another year, man. But I will say this, man. The Lakers did get their dub, but I want y'all to see this is when you know your man is.
Yeah, I was just
I'm giving them props. They did beat Golden State with all their players. But
they did not have their two.
I need y'all to see this though. This is when you.
Well, it wasn't all theirs because they didn't have Wiggins.
Who did? Oh, they didn't. But they had old boy though.
They had Steph.
No, not Steph. What's old boy name? The other dude. I can't call him. But watch. Look at the bench. Look at the bench. They turning. Look at the bench. Yeah, they already know them guaranteed threes. Look at the bench. The bench just turned. They got the head turn. Pool. All of them. They like. We already know it's good. You know when your bitch got you. He wide open too. Yeah. Steph is that man. But man, shouts out to the Lakers, man, because they did beat the Golden State Warriors. With the Golden State, all three. They had Steph, they had Clay, they had Draymond. They didn't have Wiggins, but they did have what's the other kid's name, man? What's the other dude?
They had Kuminga, DiVincenzo, Iguodala.
Not Iguodala, the other dude, the big tall black guy. I think he plays center.
Kevin Looney.
Yeah, him.
Looney. So of course, like you said, Steph led the field, 27 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists for the night. Klay Thompson, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Draymond Green, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 11.7 rebounds, 6 assists for Dante DiVincenzo. Kevin Looney, 6.65 rebounds. Andre Iguodala, 14 minutes of play, just scored 2 assists. Jordan Poole, 10.3 rebounds, 4 assists. But it wasn't enough as the Lakers. Anthony Davis drops 39, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 11 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists from Dennis Schroeder, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists from Troy Brown Jr. Jarrett Vanderbilt contributed a double-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists to go along. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists from Austin Reeves. Malik Beasley, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Hence the reason I look at it this, without LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell, the Los Angeles Lakers finished the series this year versus the Golden State Warriors 3-1, as the only game basically coming against Golden State losing. The only game the Lakers lost to Golden State was the season opener, where the Lakers fell to at the beginning of the season, in which Golden State lost the next 3 to LA. With that, the Lakers are 31-34. Golden State 34-31. Currently, the Lakers sit in the 11th spot, just 2.5 games out of 6, the 6th seed. So with
they still 11th spot. Don't sleep.
No, we good. We good. We are A-okay. A-okay. We are good. I am not concerned one bit. On the other side of the spectrum, the Brooklyn Nets were able to secure a dub versus the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets? Go ahead and say
it. I'm not giving props to stuff like that.
Oh, you will give props to y'all winning against the 49ers, but you won't give props to them winning against the
49ers. They was in the playoff. This was a playoff game. You're talking about a team that ain't even finna make the playoffs. Really? Yes, I'm gonna give props. You are not really comparing the two, bro. You can't be.
Kelly
You really
Oubre,
cannot be comparing the
17
two, bro.
points, 7 rebounds, 15.6 rebounds, 6 assists for Dennis Smith, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Gordon Hayward, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Terry Rozier, and Mark Williams contributed a double-double, 10 points, 14 rebounds. But for the Nets, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists from Mikal Bridges, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, Spencer Dinwiddie, 11 points, 10 rebounds, Cameron Johnson, 12 points, 1 rebound, Joe Harris. Where your man at? He ain't played last night.
He probably didn't. You talking about Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons, yeah. All in the effort in which the Brooklyn Nets pull out the 102 to 86
without Ben on the court.
With the win. There are 10 games above 500 at 38 and 28. The Hornets fall to 20 and 46 with the loss. And
20 and 46, and you want me to 20 and 46, and you want me to give some props? I'm not giving props to that, bro. I'm not giving props to that. Yeah, they got to win, but that is nothing to me. Means nothing.
Another game of notoriety. The Phoenix Suns faced off against the Dallas Mavericks.
I'll watch that one. That was a good one. That was a real good game. That was a real good game.
I'm almost feeling like I'm going to have to backtrack my statement. But
what statement is that? Hold on. What statement is that, Trey?
That they might not be ready by the time they get playoffs.
It's funny you say that. Who might not be ready?
The Phoenix Suns.
So you agree? So now you go back to they call me the GOAT for a reason. I sat here and tried to tell you this earlier.
I'm not fully on that yet, but so this is
you should be.
It's a tale of two different cities, right? So we have on the one hand where you have the duo of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have amounted 180 plus points a game since the 3 games he's played in. Kevin Durant, 37.7 rebounds, 3 assists last night. Devin Booker, 36 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists last night. It's right with 12 points, 11.6 rebounds, 7 assists from Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton, 9.16 rebounds, no assists.
Look at them points, boy.
So they're putting up major points for the most part when it comes down to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. But
that part.
Do you know that DeAndre Ayton, maybe their defensive anchor, DeAndre Ayton, prior to KD getting there, was averaging 13.8 field goal attempts a game, right? 13.8.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 3 games in which KD has been there, DeAndre Ayton has only shot 20 field goal attempts in those 3 games, which drops his average for the most part to a dismal 6.2 attempts a game. So already cut in half into his the times he touches the ball or shoots the ball, cut into that halfway. That is what I see is going to be the damning situation for them in their organization as a whole, as it comes down to it.
Why?
Chris Paul is going to distribute because he's going to touch the ball. He's a point guard. There's no way to get away from him touching the ball and him he's going to orchestrate all day. But DeAndre Ayton is where it's going to be, is where the rubber meets the road. And they're going to, I think what's going to happen is they're going to rely on that, and they're going to get to somebody to where they're not going to be able to rely on KD and Booker. Then they're going to try to go to Ayton, and that's where Ayton is not going to be ready, and that's where the chemistry portion is going to fall off at. That's why I think. But right now, just with them
we don't need Ayton. Ayton is just like a DeAndre. Ayton is just like a Draymond Green.
Draymond Green. How I do?
You don't need him for points. You don't need him for points. As long as he got 16 boards. As long as he continues to grab boards, play defense, get some blocks and stuff like that, you don't need Ayton for that. Now, what you do need is CP3 to come through and do what he needs to do when it's time come time. But you don't need Ayton for that. You got CP3, you got Devin Booker, and you got KD. Ayton needs to be a role player. And as long as he can get them boards and play some defense, that's all you need from Ayton. We don't need points. They don't need points from Ayton, in my opinion. I don't think they need points from him. Yeah, can he get? He's the Draymond Green. He's the Dennis Rodman. As long as he can do that, that's all you need. You don't need nothing else from him. If he can get a few points here, if he gets 8 to 10, if he get double digits points, he's done enough. He's done more than enough. But as long as he can get double digit, way more double digit rebounds, or get major blocks, you don't need Aiden for nothing else, man. You don't, because you got 3 other players who can get it done. You don't need Aiden for that, in my opinion. That's just me. He had 16 boards, 0 assists, 9 points. That's all you need. That's good for Aiden. That's good. When you got Devin Booker dropping 36, you had KD who dropped 37, and Chris Paul, he only had 11. I need more from Chris. I need Chris up in the close to the 20s. I need Chris up in the 20s. But as long as you got him hitting, you got Devin and Kevin dropping 36 points, 37 points. Aiden don't need no more than 9 to 10 points. That's it. That's it. In my personal opinion, that's it. Now, this thing with now, did you see this? I didn't see this because I think I had already turned to TV and was already getting ready to watch the next game, which was the Lakers versus But did y'all see this? This took place, and I haven't heard any word of what this was about. But maybe you heard it, because Trey, you be hearing stuff before I hear stuff, and I don't know how you be doing that, but you be doing it. But did y'all see this? And I feel like Luka was probably
Devin Booker and Luka Doncic. So
now they smiling, but it's definitely some words being exchanged, and they coming in between the two of them.
There's quote unquote supposedly beef between the two. So what the situation was is like Luka missed what would have been the game-winning
shot. Yeah, I remember that.
It would have tied because they was at that point they was down
128. You're right.
So what Luka missed what would have been the game tying shot. It was an open 4-foot layup in which he tried to it rimmed out. So what happened is you can see the disgust because Luka was down, like holding his head down, like, man, oh man, they'll say I can't believe I missed that. In which Devin Booker was saying that Luka had did something or had made a move or didn't do a proper move or did something illegal or something like that. And so he basically was saying, that's what Devin Booker was saying. It should have been an offensive foul. And so that's when Luka looked at Devin Booker and it was like, shut the F up. And then when he told him that's when Devin Booker said something back. And that's when Luka was like, oh, wait, are you talking? And that's when he got up in his face. And so when you look at it now, and so from what Luka Doncic is saying is that don't talk that trash now that you know you're going to win. It should have been talking the whole time, the whole time. He's like, don't talk it now. He's like, don't sit up and try to talk it now that that is not. So them going back and forth is like, you're not going to do nothing where Luka is like, you know what I'm saying? So that was Luka's whole situation. Is like, he basically felt like Devin Booker wanted to bump his gums and run his mouth. Now when he feel like the game is in hand, but it wasn't none of that going on throughout the course of the game. Of course, we know Kyrie Irving was hot, scorching hot, stepping 30 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Luka Doncic, 34 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 21 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from Tim Hardaway Jr. Christian Wood, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 10 points, 3 rebounds from Reggie Bullock, but they came up short, in which Luka is like, in this point, like they've had I think the Dallas Mavericks are currently 3-7 with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic playing together. 2-5, okay. With Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and there it was. I knew 7. Yeah, I knew 7 was in there somewhere. So it's 2-5 when they on the court together. Yeah, and from what has been said is it was Luka Doncic that pushed for Kyrie Irving to get brought in.
But Trey, I said it when we found out that Kyrie was going to Dallas. I said that's not really that's not a plus for Dallas. Yeah, Kyrie's not a defensive player. You still are hurting defensively, and it shows. Yes, him and Luka can put up 40 points, which they did the other night versus yeah, they put up 40 against the Sixers. Both of them dropped 40 points and got the win. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, like when it's all said and done, you 2-5. Like, what is that going to do for you in long run when you got to when you got to play defense? Like they couldn't do defensively against the Suns. And that's why I say it's a big difference, man. They're going to stay in the hunt because they can put points on the board and they got talent. They can shoot the ball and stuff like that. But what's going to happen on the other end defensively? And that's where Dallas falls short. Dallas needed defense. That Dallas needs a major defender in their camp for them to be credible in the playoffs.
Luka, like Anthony saying, Booker was talking trash at the 4-second mark. Luka's more so is basically saying keep that same energy all the way the whole game, not when we basically know that
when
the
you
game
already got
over.
The game solidified. But don't we do that? Don't we always do that? We always wait toward the end of the game, look at the scoreboard. When you up, you ain't nothing to talk about when you up, when you ain't up. Like for real, ain't nothing really to talk about. How I'm gonna talk noise if I'm not up? That's stupid. I'm not gonna talk noise if I'm not up. Ain't nothing for me to talk about. Once we up, now I can talk. Yeah, we up. And like I said, I watched that game. That was a damn good game between them. It was a Lakers game. It was a Lakers game. Those were two games.
Kyrie Irving was doing everything. He was playing defense. He was like dialed in. It just wasn't enough for the most part.
He couldn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. And they couldn't do nothing with who?
With KD.
They couldn't do nothing with KD.
Another
thing said. I don't know if you heard. Everybody was waiting. That was the first time that KD and Kyrie had been in the same arena since the trades. Them two didn't say two words to each other.
Oh, wow, really?
No, not like KD went and hugged a former Brooklyn net on the Mavericks, but didn't even say one word. There was times when the camera, Morris. There was times when the camera was on KD and Kyrie at the same time, where it was like they were standing right next to each other during like commercial breaks. Not two words were mumbled between the two. The entire game. Not after the game. They didn't shake hands. They didn't hug. They didn't bump hands, bump fists. None of that. I think there's some bad blood. I think there's some bad blood. Bad blood.
Another game that went on yesterday that probably had some significance: the Washington Wizards and the Milwaukee Bucks. As we know, currently the Milwaukee Bucks just came off a 16-game win streak that was put to rest by the Philadelphia 76ers. But of course, the Bucks back in swing of things as they took on the Washington Wizards in Washington. Kristaps Porzingis 24 points. What's up?
Wasn't this a what you call a triple double for Giannis?
Yes. So yes, 24 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists from Kristaps Porzingis. Bradley Beal contribute 33 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists from Corey Kispert, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists from Danny Ajava. Day'Ron Wright contribute with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Daniel Gafford with 8.6 rebounds, but it was all in the losing effort as Giannis Antetokounmpo drops a triple-double, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists, but he had to get the 10th rebound with seconds remaining in the game as he put the ball up against the backboard to solidify a rebound for himself and then scored the bucket. So he said he kind of stole one in that sense. Javon Carter, 20 points, 2 rebounds in his effort last night. 19 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists from Drew Holiday. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist from Brook Lopez. Connaughton with 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Grayson Allen, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Ingles, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And Crowder, 2 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist as the Milwaukee Bucks were victorious 46-18. Keeping pace across the Boston Celtics, who were in a dogfight on their own last night versus the New York Knicks.
Double overtime
last night. The Knicks end up taking care of the Boston Celtics. It was a dogfight, but now the Knicks currently own the winning streak, currently on a 9-game win streak, missing their top player and Jalen Brunson as he was out for the game, led by 38 points from Emmanuel Quickly, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists from Julius Randle, 13 points, 14 rebounds, Mitchell Robinson, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists from Josh Hart, RJ Randle, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. They are doing it over in New York. Celtics were led by Jason Tatum's 40 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist from Jaylen Brown, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists from Al Horford, while Derek White had 12.6 rebounds, 4 assists, as well as Marcus Starks with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on the night. But like I said, Boston came up a little short, losing in double overtime by a score of 131 to 29. Boston falls to 45-20 on the season. The New York Knicks now 39-27 on their season. That currently has Boston, I think, 2.5 games behind Milwaukee. I'll check that stat in a second as we want to talk about this last one. We talked about the Lakers. We talked about the Suns. We talked about the Wizards and the Bucks. Celtics. This last one, particularly, Bishop.
Grizzlies and the Clips.
Grizzlies and the Clips. A whole bunch going on here currently.
A whole bunch. Because like I said, somehow you find out about things and it came to pass right after you said it. I said, well, this is what Trey was talking about.
First and foremost, what we have is the Clippers hosted the Memphis Grizzlies last night, in which Clippers were victorious, even though they had to fight back and hold off the Memphis Grizzlies as they were at one point up by 17 points. Kawhi Leonard finished the night 34 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 42 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists from Paul George, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, Eric Gordon, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists from Mason Plumlee. Russell Westbrook, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. However, he did score on a 3-point play in the waning second minutes of the game. That helped to put the game a little further out of reach than initially. Ivica Zubac, 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Marcus Morris Sr., 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. And Terrence Mann, 7 points, and Batum, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. For the Grizzlies, listen very clearly. Tyus Jones, 25 points, 12 assists, 3 rebounds. Desmond Bane, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Luke Kennard, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists from Jarrett Jackson Jr. David Roddy, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Xavier Tillman, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Santi Abdullah, 9 points, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists from John Conchar. But we didn't have any Ja Morant. Now, first and foremost,
why didn't we have a Ja
and Dylan Brooks?
Oh, Dylan Brooks,
of course, he wasn't there. Dylan Brooks obtained his 16th personal technical foul, in which, for the most
automatic
part,
suspension.
Automatic is 1 game suspension. So they didn't have any Dylan Brooks. However, comment in the words of my fine cohort here, Ja Morant was not available due to the team
stupidity.
First, it goes 2 parts. And now I wonder if this is going to be something that's going to be. So, Ja Morant, as we know, has been in the news lately in conversations about just certain things, things that have gone wrong or awry for the most part. Of course, we had the situation to where he or even himself or his cohort, his counterparts have been involved in certain incidents. One being, of course, the ideal or the perception of a laser guided sighting system that was on the other end of a weapon aimed at the Indiana Pacers bus and staff a couple of weeks ago. Then, as you see up on the screen currently, you had the situation in which supposedly there was a game played in Ja's backyard against a top ranked basketball little phenom in the Memphis area, which he came through, played ball with Ja. It got a little testy. Supposedly Ja was hit with a ball. There was a scuffle. Ja supposedly went in the house and pulled a pistol and brandished it at the young man, in which it was said it could not be corroborated. And then, of course, after taking the L versus the Denver Nuggets the other night, Ja Morant, after that said game, out partying with his mans and them, recorded an IG live with him brandishing a pistol on the live IG while rapping lyrics to a song in the club with his people. Upon seeing this, as we know, the NBA has a pretty tight stance on gun violence and has even initiatives that they put forth in play and utilize in said reference to said violence. What we have is now the Memphis Grizzlies have suspended Ja Morant for 2 games. upon that suspension initially mentioned, John Morant came out and said that he's just going to take a step away from the game for a while. He needs to go do some things. He feel like he let down his family, his fans, his organization, his teammates, friends. He let them all down, and he kind of like needs to take a step back from for a second. Now, just of yesterday or last night's game,
This is what the coach had to
the
say.
coach came back.
And here's the, I got it for
Okay,
you, Trey.
go ahead.
What the coach said. Coach Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins, yes.
Yep, so you can see exactly what he says. And he says he understands he's got to get help to get to a better place, not just for himself, but for his team. We're going to support him, as I said, and we're going to hold him accountable.
So what is likely to happen is that 2 games in which was initially spoke of is going to be longer than 2 games. So it's going to be a situation in which a lot of words, keywords would be used, words like heal, a longer process than thought, almost a bevy of things. So the first thing that comes to mind, Bishop, in your opinion, do we have a problem? Is there a situation to where maybe Ja suffers from
Trey talked about this
yeah,
the other day too.
so
Do we what?
is there a situation to where Ja may have some mental situation going on, or is it a form of immaturity, you think, just in general?
I don't want to label somebody in regards to having a mental issue if there hasn't been anything to solidify that. However, I will agree with you on the grounds of the immaturity level. We got to keep in mind this is a young man who's barely 23, 24 years old in the league, and who has a great deal of money, who just signed a Nike deal, who just came out with a new shoe,
His own signature shoe.
yes, his own signature shoe and things of that nature. So he's got a lot of money, and we all have to take a look at ourselves and think back when we were that age, all the stupid things in which we done as being a young adult. We find ourselves, hindsight is 2020. If you could go back to 20, 30 years or however old you are and go back to your 20s, early 20s and say, oh, all the things I would have done differently because of the things in which now. Do I believe John Morant feel some type of way about his antics and the things in which he's done? Absolutely. I feel like he knows he's made a mistake. Obviously, that's why he's taking the time to reflect and try and find himself and find the ways to get back into a better space, to come back to his team and be more of a teammate, more of a, and not saying he's not, but just trying to find a way to be more of an adult than trying doing these, high school antics. Because basically what he's doing is something in which you find a high school student do, things in like that. Like, why are you bucking up to a kid playing ball? Things of that nature. Don't get me wrong. We got some of these kids who are knuckleheads who feel like, they smelling themselves, as my mom used to say, and that, he had a Powerade deal too. I didn't know he had got a Powerade deal. But some of these young kids need to be checked. Don't get me wrong, but there's a ways to go about doing without pulling a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And once you pull a weapon, there's no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? Especially you being a so-called role model, high in the sports industry. That's the worst thing he could have done. And him doing that, the gun gestures during the game, dude, those are things that you see kids or high school students do, and it's just a point in his life where he's just still trying to figure it out. I think he will. I think this time away will help him. Hopefully, they'll find ways to get him. I don't want to say he needs help, because I don't want to label it as a problem. I just want to label it as a circumstance, something that that he has to figure out. The kid was beating him, I'm sure, and Ja got mad. And that's probably true. You know what I'm saying? That's probably true. But however, there's still ways to address it and get around it. You know what I'm saying? And things like that, and pulling guns and stuff like that is not the answer. But I'm hoping and praying for him. Hopefully things work out. Hopefully it doesn't take a long hiatus from the sport, because everybody loves seeing Ja on the court, especially out in Memphis, and we know he's one of the most high flying and electrifying guards in the league. So at such a young age. What up? What up, Small? What up? What up? What up?
What's going on, Derek? What's going on?
But if he needs to do that, that's what he needs to do. And I wish him the best to try and find ways to get past whatever it is that he has going on with him. But now, they got all these memes about him, things of this nature. These are the things in which this is not what you want to see. This right here, this is not what you want to see. You don't want to see John Morant like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is not what you you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows this is from what movie and stuff like that. You don't want to see this from John Morant. That's not what people want to look up to John Morant for. Where they want to look up to him for the things in which he does on the court, as well as off the court, but positive things off the court. And hopefully, he finds his way. I'm wishing it, I'm hoping, and I'm praying for the young man that he figures it out.
And which is for the most, and of course they just say that's what everyone will hope for him, but really to have hopefully is really he believes that he potentially might have a slight problem, might be a situation, as opposed to it just being a check the block for the social for society in a sense. Like he believes that, saying maybe he went a little bit too far, because when you think about it, take a look at it as young kids that might idolize John Morant, which is possible. Seeing him doing, saying on the live, so social media holds a huge imprint, especially when it comes to our children and stuff like that. Seeing him on Instagram Live, he's in there dancing, saying in the club, brandishing his pistol or one case like that. Kind of like a smack in the face of all the stuff that's going on, in the sense we're talking about what he's done or what he's been a part of, or like we said, we talk about the gun laws all the time. You have somebody that doesn't recognize that, okay, that what he's doing, and then they go off and try to do the same thing and thinking that they're acting that's the same in which he does, and then next we have another situation where we've lost somebody or lost 2 or 3 people due to whatever situation, because someone's trying to replicate what they think they're seeing some of their favorite players doing. So it really is a thing. But like you said, hopefully he's going to take this situation seriously, especially when you look at this as his money, as Bart, like they were just saying, he just got a signature shoe. We know he just signed a endorsement deal with Powerade. Just as soon as he got those things, he could be gone. They set up and produce all them shoes. They produce all those shoes, are going to produce all those shoes. We know how Nike gets down. They'll sit up and pull those things off the shelf so quick.
You already see what they did to Kyrie over a statement.
Exactly. Yeah. So
over a statement.
Now, and so it's just what you link with, and for the most part. So it's just one of those things.
It is.
But hopefully, like you said, hopefully he gets that together, and they're going to be able to basically get come to see where he's basically makes a difference, and he and they'll be all for all this to just be an afterthought, in which he's, like you can say, chalk it up to the fact that
now everything he does now from this point on, he needs to erase in people's mind. He needs to do everything positive so people can forget about what has transpired within the last week or two. Bad shouts out to Shaq. Happy birthday to Shaquille Shaq Diesel. Big 51 today. Shouts out to the big Shaq Diesel, man. We all know one of the most powerful centers to ever grace the hardwood floor, man. Bad shouts out to Shaquille O'Neal for what he's brought to the NBA and what he's bringing to the NBA in sportscasting, as well as all that he brings to the table into the he's a sheriff. I think he's a what do you call it?
A firefighter. He has a lot of accolades.
Yeah, he's done so much in the community. He's done a lot. I think he's honorary sheriff. I think is what it's called. I think he's an honorary sheriff and things like that. So, mad shout out to Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominating centers to ever be in the NBA. Just that dude, man. Just that dude, man. It's one of the guys who brung the rim down, and you'd be like, good God. Just He's that dude, man. I don't know why they showing all just his Lakers play. I don't know why they doing all just Lakers.
Come on,
He
man. You
didn't.
know
He
why.
played for other teams. He played for other teams outside the Lakers. But he played for Orlando too. He played for Miami too. He played for other teams, guys. I need y'all to not just show Lakers.
Before we get up out here, of course, I want to make sure I shout out Fort Polk JRTC, and Fort Polk's Intermediate Sports Champions from this
weekend?
Last week. No, last week. It was last week. It happened last week. I just didn't say anything about it. OJSA did their thing. Legal Ballers set up and put it together. Overtime, a game in overtime.
Overtime game?
Yeah, it was overtime. It was overtime. It was crazy. It was a pretty good game. They put it together. Of course, what we got going on this week is we do our Commanders Cup, in which 3-on-3 tournament going down. So it's going to be
3-on-3. Oh,
yeah, doing 3-on-3. So we're gonna see up and see, kind of like make it a little harder. We're gonna see how that's going. I know people been hitting me up and messaging me, so I don't know what the messages are, but I'm very sure oh snap! I didn't put them on the schedule. Oh snap! I might have to go back and change that. Well, in any case, yeah.
You put who on the schedule?
One of the teams. That's what he was just saying. I ain't put one of the teams on the schedule. So if that's not on the schedule, then I'm gonna have to go back and rechange the schedule again. I thought I accounted for them. Maybe not. I have to see. I'll have to call them. They have to go back through all that over again. I did. It took me like hours to do that. Ooh. But in any case, if not, damn, did I not put them on the schedule?
You still don't believe that you put them on the schedule?
I think I put them on the schedule, but I'll go back and look at it. But of course, if not, then I spend the majority of my morning going back and fixing that and let them know that I have to fix that. So,
he really looked like
yeah, because it took, bro. Do you know how long it took me to put that schedule together? I had to do it manually. I had to do it all manually to decide. But in case if not, I'll figure it out. I have a couple of things in my back pocket to do. But so like I said, that's our show for today. I greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us today. Y'all know where to find us. Come tomorrow, 09 to 1100 hours Central Standard Time. We get to talk about what's happened, of course. Over the course, tomorrow we'll chap in and maybe speak some more on military basketball as the latest standings came out for the NMBT. National Military Basketball Tournament. Rankings came out, so we'll chop it up and talk about that a little bit. Maybe might have some more guests or something on to talk in reference to that. I know I've been got a couple of people hit me up in reference to coming on to talk their talk in reference to the state of military basketball. We definitely gonna tap in. Definitely a thing we're gonna get. I just have to make sure we have the right time for it. We're gonna bring in the ladies of military basketball. We want to hear their what they got to say. But before that happens,
I have a young lady who's a part of the MGLO too, Trey, who was at the tournament that that was just here in San Antonio, who's trying to get a women's version of, I guess, to be participate in that same tournament that Mr. Richardson. It has.
So they used to have it back in the day, but so of course, we bring that up so we can have that conversation. Hopefully,
so I'm gonna try to reach out to her and see if we can get her on too. See if she can.
Okay. Yeah, because that's probably going to probably be an evening show for the simple fact of certain things. One of the saying Miss Green, she's a teacher. We had her on after they won the tournament earlier in the year, and it was a little hard. So we want to have everyone's ability to speak. So that'll probably be a later tournament in the evening or something like that. So that's what's going to be a little more waiting. But we're definitely going to tap that in. But we might have some more. Like I said, I got to get with somebody to see what's up, to see who we can get on to talk another part, as well as a couple other people we have on. So y'all should be, like Bishop to say, stay tuned. Y'all know who to tap in, where to tap in. Notifications, go to the Facebook, the Instagram, well, not Instagram, go to the YouTube page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, First Information Morning Sports Talk, so that way you can make sure and then hit that little alert so you can make sure you don't catch anything, don't miss anything, no matter where you are. Bishop, any last words before we get out of here, bro?
Real quick, man. I just wanted. Now I found something where Shaq was when he was with Orlando. Yes. See, this when Shaq Diesel was the. Yeah, that's the Shaq. Happy birthday to you, Shaq.
How many championships you win in Orlando?
It don't matter. We ain't talking about that. We talking about the man's birthday, man. Look. Was that a Keem? Was that Keem? Was that Keem? Was that Patrick? Oh, good Lord, he's taking down all the big men. Oh, was that David Robinson? Oh no, that ain't David. That's old boy. What's his name?
The
parrot. Like, see, don't Shaq Diesel. Like, don't sleep. So Shaq, when he was in Orlando, look, he gave it to every. Like, come on, Charles Barkley got through Jordan shit. Oh my, like, come on, man. Look, even on the biggest dude, like he didn't look, bruh. Get that man, like, oh, damn, Shaq, damn. I didn't know you hit him like that, Shaq. Good. See, there go the rim. There go the rim. There go the rim. There go the rim. That's the Shaq out there. That's the Shaq I was talking about right there. Now we go to the Lakers. Now we can go to the Lakers. Now we Mutombo, stop it. Don't do that. Bradley, sit down. What are you doing? Why would you, Bradley? This is how you go out, man. This is how you go out on the show, man. Look, Shaq with the dribbles. With the dribbles. Shaq's like, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. Mad shouts out to Shaq on his birthday. That man look at the finesse. Get that out of here, bro. What was you thought? Stop it. I'm the man. Stop. What are you doing? Don't do that. There we go, David. Move, Admiral. Man, y'all have a great Monday, man. I had to go out like this, man. I had to, man. Big shouts out to Shaq, man, for his birthday. His birthday in March is like mine. Happy 51st birthday to Shaq Diesel, man. Y'all have a great Monday. Enjoy. Be safe. And we'll definitely holler at y'all Monday through Friday, as always, 09 to 1100 hours. And for you civilian personnel, that's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all have a good one, man. Y'all be easy. Peace. I roll 5 military fraternity.